to go to see Carver straight away. Like, we already know that is something that wants to be done.
Yes.
And that's
To
with
complicate matters, I may have food arriving very early in the session.
Oh no! Okay, so Simon is our
I
backup
also
plan.
want to talk to Carvern. I need to explain
Yes,
how the
yeah.
procedure
So Ellie-
in the future is going to happen.
So Jamie and Simon are our potentially going first, provided Simon's food doesn't show up. So then, I guess it's down to whether or not, I don't know if Kirv has anything planned or if Beau has anything planned. Mortar's just kind of milling around today. Like, so far as I'm aware, I don't know if there's anything going on.
Wow.
Filing
How do we
his
find out?
taxes.
Probably.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crabby D&D. I'm here with my players, Beau,
Hello.
Ellie,
Yo.
Kirv,
Hi.
Mortar,
Hello.
and Vinny.
Hello.
And as you may be able to tell, Vinny sounds crisp and new. It turns out that giving him a magical item of that caliber has upgraded his mic. We don't know how, but it's a magical,
Brother has never
magical
been more
process.
squeaky clean in his life.
So I'll have to keep that in mind if anything should happen to my mic in the back pocket and just give it to my bad guys. Anyway, so we're here. We are missing a Romulus today, unfortunately, as Harlan is currently away, but he'll be here in spirit, and he might even show up randomly. Who knows? It's Harlan. He can do what he wants.
It's true.
Yeah.
He could be anywhere.
He could be anywhere right now. He could be at Jamie's, and he wouldn't even know.
He's in the
God
walls.
damn it, where are
He's in the
you?
goddamn walls.
To the goddamn wall!
Oh no. So, I think we should get back to this. Don't you? Welcome back. Now that we've returned to the original timeline from last time, a reminder is in order. Last session, our party of adventurers, Beau, Ellie, Kirv, Mortar, Romulus, and Vinny, had finished the court case and received their various rewards, preparing for whatever plans they may have next, with the intentions to head to Zaker's now looming on the horizon, and Romulus in a maid outfit. The party now wish to wrap up their various loose ends before leaving for who knows how long. So, returning back to it, it's at this time that you're all kind of gathered together, going about doing your various tasks. We've got Vinny, who wanted to go see Carvern. Vinny, were you going to be free, or has food arrived?
It's not arrived yet, which means it'll probably do so at a very inconvenient time.
Okay. In which case, as you've otherwise gathered all back together, back in your main kind of foyer area, kind of in preparations for whatever does come next with each of you. Cat, or I should say Ellie.
Yeah.
As you're otherwise waiting there, Vinny returning from his various bits that he was doing before coming back with Kirv, having had your spa day out, and with Romulus in tow, there's a moment of almost this strange atmospheric change around you in this moment, as you begin to hear the sound of shuffling and kind of, not necessarily shouts, but calls, if you will, from the corridor somewhere, out from your little alcove where where your lounge is.
Okay. Do I recognize these calls?
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Oh, I've made a mistake here. Hang on.
Already?
Look, foolishly, I decided that I was going to start trying to the rope, and now my fingers are kind of wrapped in rope. Hang on.
IRL, yeah.
You've like Chinese finger trapped your own hat,
Yeah.
like your own hat.
That's what am I rolling here?
Perception.
Perception.
Oh, cool. That's I think I was probably a
Five.
-1, so.
Just as an estimate.
So
Don't
it's
have to be
17.
accurate.
So it's 17.
I know my. Yeah, it is. It's -1.
Okay.
Look, my wisdom sucks. Okay.
So you hear the sound of otherwise a larger individual, kind of a deeper voice, speaking out before there is a dwarven reply, otherwise returning the kind of the answering conversation, as you can hear footsteps kind of leading towards your current area. You see that the guards in the hallway kind of tense up in this moment, but not necessarily to be alert or prepared for combat, more at attention. The rest of you who are all
look up.
all present at this time, you look up and you can see rounding the corner, you see what looks to be a relatively short, somewhat somewhat poofy in places, fur covering the majority of her form. She otherwise wears kind of this large cloak, and what looks to be a simple fabric shirt and trousers with a chimage over her, over the major, or kind of wrapped around her neck and across the top of her head, as she kind of steps into the hallway and immediately locks eyes with you, as you recognize Tarscott. And immediately behind her, you see a tall, thick and bulbous individual covered in runes and scars that otherwise almost ritualistically immerse his entire upper frame. You can see that they reach up to otherwise his bald head, and a thick weave of a beard seems to almost creep down from his jawline a little bit, as you see Darwin as well, right behind her. You know that these two were inseparable.
Yeah. Okay. At this moment, sort of like, if anyone sees Ellie at this point, like, she has dropped her book, just confused, excited.
Ellie!
And just goes flying over towards them, like, tripping over. Anyone's in the way, they're getting shoved out of the way. Sorry, but oh my god, Tarscott!
As Tarscott, this smaller than cat skin shifter, kind of rushes up and wraps her arms around her. She says, it's good to see you. As Darwin kind of plods up behind, quickening his pace slightly before slowing, and just kind of places a hand on your shoulder, Cat, and just goes, "Glad to hear you're all right. This must be the crew I've heard so much about."
What does that mean? Is it good?
Let's just say Tarscott kept me in the know based on what Theomar has told her. And Tarscott kind of pulled her head back. I've been in regular contact with your grandfather regarding your condition, just to make sure that if my help was desperately needed, I could intervene at a moment's notice, but not to come into contact with you unless you contacted me first, which I'm glad you did. And I have no real way to contact, but I'm along for the ride.
It's so nice to see you both. There's so much to say. I've been working on my runes a lot.
You would all, those of you with a decent passive perception, which I believe is pretty much everybody except... Actually, no, I'd say all of you would probably notice this. You watch as Romulus kind of shies back slightly. Not in fear, but almost out of reverence and respect. These are important individuals, it would seem.
What, like in the great, like they're important in like the great scheme of things, or to Ellie specifically?
Go ahead and make me an insight check.
Okay.
Or history check. I'll leave that choice up to you, but I'm pretty sure I know which one it will be.
Oh, definitely insight, bro. Definitely insight.
What, you don't want history?
Oh my word.
You got
Nah, bro,
-2?
I don't want none of that
Sure.
history. I don't want none of that history shit. That is 19.
19. Out of the grand scheme of things,
Oh wow, okay.
these individuals, for note,
Well,
they're
that will
both
see.
wearing kind of these thick fur coats, or cloaks, rather, that otherwise hang around their shoulders and kind of down their back. And you can tell that they are... Well, let's just say that with the prowess that your party generally has by now, you can all tell, well, with maybe the exception of Beau, that there is magic flowing over the exterior of these cloaks, which means that they are of a decent strength.
Alright. Cool. Sorry, I think Rebecca was going to say something.
Oh, Kirv will step forward and say, "Are you going to introduce us, Ellie?"
Yeah. Sorry. So, Pascott, Darwin, this is, and I'll introduce and Kirv is going to be closer as she approached first. This is Kirv.
Hi. Darwin nods.
Pleasure.
Then I will introduce Mortar. Then this one's Mortar.
Also, our kind of wave.
Taskot takes a few steps forward and just kind of looks and goes, "You're the one I was told to talk to. You had questions. Questions later, introductions and small talk first. I'm quite small, so there'll be a lot of
Okay.
talking."
Then
I'll kind of look at Kirv like, am I in trouble?
oh, but
Kirv sort of like raises an eyebrow, like, "Did you do something?"
So kind of like shrugs, exasperated, like, I don't know anymore.
She smiles.
and then this one's Vinny. Just running round
Harlan.
towards Vinny.
Give a wave. Ellie seems pleased to see you, so that's good enough for me.
Okay.
Taskot
And,
nods, as does Darwin.
There you are. This one over here is my adopted dad, Romulus.
Romulus steps forward, and you see Darwin kind of straighten and go, "I thought I recognized you." And kind of steps forward and kind of puts a very meaty hand on Romulus's shoulder. And the two of them are similar heights in terms of how they are. And goes, "How's it been?" "It's been troublesome, but going okay." Good. Glad to hear nothing much has changed then. Just seems to almost have a reunion between the two of them.
And last but not least, where would Beau be at the moment?
He's just at the back, just kind of observing.
Okay, I will run right to the back. This one over here is Beau.
Howdy.
Taskot otherwise follows with and goes, "Hi, you're, by the looks of you, an inventor of sorts."
An inventor?
Mm.
Beau just
Or-
offers out a cigarette and goes, "No, I'm just an alcoholic." There's a difference.
I wasn't informed of this one. Are you new to this group?
Yeah, only a few days.
That would
It's
explain
been
a lot.
interesting.
I'll say, dropped into the deep end.
Yeah, something like that.
But it's good to see you, Ellie, and glad to hear that the court's done so well.
Well, they didn't kill me, so that's something.
That is good. But
Oh.
I'm sure Theomar had a plan in the event that became the eventuality.
Just looks over. Does he show any sign of he had an alternative plan?
Theomar is still in his mansion, so none of you.
Oh,
So
okay.
Theomar's actually not present at this time.
Okay. Well, I mean, he tried hard enough to do it himself to start with, but I mean, good things come from it.
That's Theomar. I'm glad you're all right.
So,
She.
yeah, I've still got the Thunderstone. Oh, and I've found some more of these Vex coins too. I do have 2 in my inventory. She gets all of her notes out from while we were talking. Still got all the letters.
You see that there is a beaming smile that Tasker otherwise kind of looks to you with. Before you know, she kind of, as you're doing this, she pulls out what looks to be a stack of bound letters that she has been writing for the past 10 months.
Oh, I haven't been. I've been on the road.
I know.
And
I heard from Theomar what happened.
do you know my magic is weird now?
Always was, but how weird.
Well, yeah, but like, so you know, like the Shatterstone's Mesa, and there's like wild magic runs crazy around there. My magic is now affected by that, which has had some very inconvenient situations.
That sounds to me like some dormant rune magic. You're
just thought it
aware
was-
of that now?
Well, I am now, yeah. Though I just thought the wild magic thing was because, you know, my body's a bit chaotic, so I thought maybe my magic was chaotic because of it. Oh, also, this is Sochenia, though she's sleeping at the moment. I've got to fix her.
You see
She helped.
Tasker otherwise kind of not needing to crouch down all that much, just kind of has a look at Sychania. And you can see she kind of traces something on the surface of one of the sections of it before kind of pulling back a finger, and you watch as the rune lights up temporarily before dulling. I see. There's a lot to her.
I'm the only person that doesn't know how to turn her on. How do you get them runes to show up?
I can see them.
You can see them.
Yes.
I'm gonna like have a look. Can I see them?
Roll me an Arcana check.
And this is a +8. A 12.
No, it's just plain black crystal.
Aw. I can't. How do you see them?
Looks around the rest of your friends. Would it be best? We've had the introductions, and it's nice to meet all of you. Would it be best that we took this conversation inside? Somewhere out of the open? Not necessarily because it's sensitive, just if people have things that they want to do. Or if you all want to listen, you can.
I mean, also, like, you guys haven't had, like, a drink or anything? Like, that's a crime. Come on. Come on in, grab a drink, pull up a chair. We can leave you guys to your talk if you want. Sure, we've all got shit we want to do today.
I mean, I need to go and see a friend that I'm... That's a completely different story. I've got to tell you about that, but I'm hopefully gonna be rebuilding her scales.
Darwin kind of looks at you and goes, "What do you mean by rebuilding?"
So they took, but we rescued her. The people that abducted her and hold her prisoner removed her scales, and I don't know high magic to like return them to her. I don't know how possible that is, but I have a friend that is a dragon, and hopefully gonna possibly infuse some of his power to her to reform her scales. It's gonna be a weird spell or ritual. I've got notes on it. I can show you if you want.
I'll take a read and just once over make sure there's no loops in it.
Yeah,
Rituals can be dangerous if not handled properly, but I'm sure that everything will be alright.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Taskot nods and goes. Taskot nods and kind of goes over, and you see that she kind of grabs one of the bottles of what looks to be kind of a tall wine bottle, about the length of her arm. She's quite small. Before she brings it over and just kind of places 2 small cups down and kind of pours drinks for her and Darwin. As Darwin takes it, kind of swirls it around, takes a sip, spits it back into the cup, puts the cup down, and walks off into Theomar's mansion.
Well, I mean, Vinny, if you don't mind waiting for like a short minute, and then I'll join you to go and deal with Carvan.
I'm happy to wait. Yeah, just say the word. I won't intrude in your conversation, so I'll just be here.
Okay, I shouldn't be too long. Then I will follow Darwin and escort to the mansion.
Okay. Does anybody want to go with? This isn't necessarily a private conversation by any means. And also, Tarscott was quite happy to have a talk in the lounge area. Just Darwin headed into the mansion because he didn't like the wine.
Oh, fair. I didn't know if she wanted to get out of the way of the dwarves or something.
No. It's not necessarily sensitive in that manner.
I'm
It's
happy
just
to
she
stay
didn't
out
want
of the
to
way.
hold any of you back from whatever things you have to do.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, I'm happy to stay out of the way. I'll just chill in the main lounge area because she mentioned something about wanting to have a chat with me. So, a little curious about that, but I'll kind of sit down and I'll go, Beau, is there anything good on tap?
Let me go chat. Sure, I can do something.
We'll just stay in the lounge area then.
Okay. Taskot otherwise kind of does the same thing again, and you watch as the room kind of glows temporarily before fading. When it comes to looking at magic, there are different ways to look at it. Some magic is more obvious to some, and others it's more obscured. Are you aware of the 3 pillars of magic?
Am I aware of the 3 pillars of magic?
Cat would be, I'd say. Jamie, probably not, because I probably mentioned it in passing.
Oh, yeah, fair then.
So,
then no.
It's fair. So there are 3 pillars of magic. There is natural magic, which individuals like druids and sorcerers use and utilize. There's divine magic that comes from a deity or great creature or being. And then there is arcane magic, or known as woven magic, which individuals such as wizards and warlocks utilize. Warlocks are a little bit of a hybrid between the two. But the 3 pillars of magic are basically arcane, divine, and natural.
Okay.
They each form up a triangle, and then different casters fall on that pattern according to their various abilities. So clerics are like pure divine, whereas paladins fall somewhere between natural and divine, because they, as much as they are beholden to their deity, it's not quite the same.
Okay. Yes, I am aware of that. Yep.
Yeah, because I remember we mentioned it a long time ago, but
Yeah, back when Cat was trying to work out how to actually cast again.
Yes, which was back during the you and
Years
Romulus
ago.
days, pre-campaign, yeah. Well, each piece of magic has a different strength, a different property, a different chosen visual. The magic that we display as we cast usually has a powerful effect, and you're probably used to seeing specific kinds of magic, ones that you're more familiar with. Modern magic uses a lot of woven elements to it, a lot of symbology, a lot of wordcraft. But when it comes to older magics, ones that were more advanced before the atrocities, like Sicania here, the magic is more subtle, and you need to inspect it further to be able to see it. Sometimes these can be called wavelengths. Some individuals can see certain ones, some can see others, and you'll have to train yourself to see the majority of them. There's a lot of hidden magic that people can't see. Natural magic, for example. It exists all around us. Like static, almost. If you've ever cast Detect Magic, or any of you have, just kind of gestures to the room, you'll know that when you look around, you see these almost tiny specks of magic which float around, of multicolored nature, almost like ashes or cinders on the wind, which just move around gently and seem to cling to individuals as they move through them, almost like they have their own air currents and magnetic forces. But without that, you can't see them. And with something such as powerful Sicania, using Detect Magic will obscure those runes because she herself is powerful enough that you can't see the subtler side of it. It's about learning to see between them, between the lines, so to speak.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. Huh. Gonna take another look.
Okay, go ahead and
Wait.
make me another Arcana check.
I was thinking worse.
Nope. Trying to brute force it and kind of squinting, you can't see anything, unfortunately.
It's just too much excitement going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just got time to be sitting there staring at Sicania. So, I don't know how much you knew about what's gone on here. Like, I don't even know what this creature is. I still don't know. It's angry. I know that much. Oh, a corruption. Oh, I keep calling it creature because, I mean, it talks to me sometimes. A lot. But just kind of drown it out. But I got my parents' souls back.
She nods, kind of taking in the information as it's otherwise applied in this instance. You ask the question about how much does she know, and you see there's kind of a look of... There's a look of understanding from her, like there's a lot that she does know. And that almost there's like no surprise there. As you do mention that you have your mum and dad's souls back, there is a look of concern, but also a look of curiosity.
Yes. Granddad didn't tell you about that.
No. And how are you feeling?
I'm actually feeling okay. There was a spell where I felt that I didn't have control. And I kind of needed to use its power to try and deal with situations. But after sort of we all did things as a team and realized that I'm not in this on my own, it's a lot easier, but there was an incident up the mountain where I genuinely thought I have complete control over the creature, but it froze me. It held me in place. I had no control over my body, which was terrifying. I don't know how deep this thing runs. I don't even know how much of the original me is still left.
You are still you. Don't forget that.
Oh no, I'm still me. I mean, I am still Ellie. I'm still this, but I just, in regards to physical form, my body's different now. Like, massive parts of it are missing, and it adapts weirdly. Just don't really know how much of physically I exist. I mean, I convinced myself I died at one point. But
you're here.
I begin to think I didn't.
And if what you say is true about being able to rebuild your friend's scales, then who knows? Maybe we can use that on you if the time comes.
I don't need scales. I've already got bone.
I think you get what I mean.
Yeah, I do. My priority. The thing is, I don't resent how I look. I mean, each one of these were a fight with the creature, and each one of them I came out victorious. Right, every time I needed help from my friends, but we won. So they're kind of not marks of defeat, but can't just show my resilience, if anything.
You can continue winning battles and still lose a war, though. Just be careful.
I know. This is why Cychania's repair is priority. Like, I don't feel I can deal with this creature on my own. I definitely need her help. So we're going to be journeying into Zaker's Crossing, into the very
Yes,
foundations
I've
of it.
heard that's ambitious.
Sorry,
I've got a teleportation circle for it. We've been there once. It didn't go well, but we're stronger now.
I hope so. Well, you'll have to tell me all about it after it's done. I can document everything down. Speaking of which, you asked how much I know. If you haven't looked, I have a copy of it just in case, but I assisted with some research into the Lotus Dawn Temple to get the full details of the situation after what happened.
Oh, as Ellie turns around and reaches into her pack and grabs the very book that I think she's talking about.
Yeah.
This?
Yes. I see you have a version of it.
Yeah, we brought it. Yeah, it was. I hadn't had chance to properly read through it because it's just been a lot's going on, and half of it I don't know. It just kind of felt a bit overwhelming. But
well,
yeah,
my sister and Paladin are currently working on the second version of this from the information that they've discovered. A second journal.
Okay. So, what is this? Do you know? Do you know what this thing is? Like,
not entirely. There's still a lot of information we don't know. There's hesitation in what she's saying. I'll say natural insight for any and all of you, you can tell that she's not saying the whole truth for one reason or another.
Shady.
Sorry, I was gone for a second. What was said?
Taskot is withholding some information regarding what the creature that Cat has is.
Oh, okay.
What?
No. Oh no, please, after you.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say, to Taskot, kind of go. Have you ever seen the creature that Ellie's kind of holding?
No, not personally, only
You haven't?
depictions.
Okay. Well, it's the single most terrifying thing anybody could ever face, and if there's potentially any more information that can help us the next time we go up against it, it'd be useful to have that information present and not withheld.
Mm.
We're in pleasant company, right?
I understand. It's one of those that I don't want to belittle any high spirits of achievement you may have.
No, but I also want to know realistic expectations. Cychania kept modifying my memory, and it kind of threw me a curveball when I kept making the same mistakes.
We got to know what we're dealing with. At the end of the day, any information might be helpful.
We don't need to be coddled.
I understand. There were signs in the temple that the creature outdated the temple. That whatever it is was sealed away in the temple because the temple was built as its prison. From what Caledon mentioned, there was writing on the interior of the final chamber. At first we thought them to be remnants of a mad man or creature, whatever was in there. There was a chair cloaked in almost this blackened ash. But upon looking into it further, they were points of reference, markings, predictions, understandings. As we went through and began to have a look at them, Theomar helped decode a few of these and pointed us to some reference, but it was only recently we believed this hypothesis to be the case. The creature, as you call it, has the ability to interpret short-term foresight.
Like seeing the future and shit?
She nods. If it can't win a battle, it won't fight. Every time it's fought you, every time you think you've won, it's gained something.
Yeah, this feels a little out of my wheelhouse. Beau, how's that drink coming?
I got you a double. Don't you worry.
Thanks, buddy.
Beau just walks up with one and then turns back around, puts in a second one. It's like, there you go.
I already had
legend.
four prepared. Don't you worry.
Yes.
This conversation's getting deep.
Oh, for sure.
This does make sense. But it's also good to know. It's also good to know. Should I come up with a plan, come up with any idea? if it's reaching out to me, then it's probably already predetermined and predicted what's going to happen. So I just need to play safer with it.
That's the thing. If it can see the future, short or long term, it may just reach out to you to throw you a curveball.
Then we take its eyes. If it can see the future, we take its eyes. Simple as that, right?
That's not quite the interpretation of that, but
Okay. So
We've got to give it no good choices.
and that's easier said than done when you don't know what it wants.
Probably
Thing
something
is-
evil.
it's said
That's the
something
reason.
about. I mean, I'm now gonna have to go off of memory here. It's been a hot minute. It said something about trying to dilute the cradle with souls.
It also mentioned something about allies. Like that there were some allies or some shit, and someone connected to our party had something to do with them.
Yeah, and that.
Didn't that end up being the horse?
Oh shit! Was it the horse?
Jamie's horse.
We need to send the sendings to Damien immediately. Tell him the horse is evil.
I don't think it was
Cast it into the
Jamie's
fire.
horse.
There's just white noise and static when you send sendings to Damien.
Oh no.
Aw.
You'll get a
Starlight already struck.
you'll get a response later when Jamie replies.
So, yeah, it contacted its someone during the Aurora. Well, magic obviously was a bit chaotic. It gained control while I was asleep and sent a sending to someone. If I recall correctly, did Mortar intercepted it?
Yeah.
He tried to.
Yeah.
He was able to hear into it, but he wasn't able to alter it.
Fair. So Mortar was able to hear it, and he picked up on that information. But yeah, there's that, and as far as I know, the it's trying to fill a cradle, and weaker souls just get destroyed, and stronger souls have a fighting chance. I met one of the souls that originally sealed the creature, and he said I was doing good work. I've made it further than any of the others.
Was?
I don't know. Yeah, that threw me off too. And I think that when I went into Zaker's, they recognise Cychania, and they have a thing there to repair. I don't. There's a lot of this I don't understand, and I'm trying so hard to. But it's yeah, I don't know if it's sort of same situation, maybe different situation, and others refers to others that have tried to fight it. Like I'm not sure.
Weird thought. Like you mentioned about the creature is like, you know, that it can see into the future. It's sending these variants of kind of fractions of itself for us to beat up, and then it goes away. Could it be that, like, and with the cradle and the souls and shit, could it be that it's trying to make our souls strong enough by throwing us these creatures that it knows it will beat?
It's entirely possible. It's an unnerving
That's not
thought, but
disconcerting.
it's possible. If you're going into Zaker's and they recognize Cychania is directly linked to whatever this creature is. She wasn't holding it back, necessarily.
Wait, so by moving her, I didn't free the creature?
No. Well, yes, but no.
It's getting confusing.
By moving her, the trigger of the magic in the chamber was that it was to deactivate the ward and reactivate the defenses within the temple. It turns out that whatever the intentions were, you were to take Cychania, open the way, and defeat the creature. It's possible that what it means by previous ones is that others have come and gone.
This is like a weird, constantly repeating circle, like a cycle of something.
Maybe. Or
Actually,
there's a thought that just come across their head. Or a rite of passage. Perhaps.
Fucking twisted rite of passage.
Right?
well, I mean, back in them times, maybe that was a normal rite of passage.
We don't know how old this thing is. We know that the temple was created, well, we hypothesize that the temple was created as a prison, but we don't know too much more information. When we try to use certain divination magics to try and get any form of information about the creature or Lota itself, they just come up blank. We've gone through several ivory strips that way.
Yeah,
Isn't there a thing that you have, Ellie, where like, I mean, I couldn't read your mind like last I tried. Last we like tried to do that. You mentioned that like this creature and stuff can't be divinely read. Could it be that like there's a clue to what abilities the creature could have in that temple, like more of them, so we can kind of see the path of progression as to what we're up against?
I mean, everything that's in the temple is currently in the book you've got.
What book?
the book
Nods
that Vinny
to-
brought.
Nods to Ellie.
She's holding it out. I've got a book, but a lot of it I don't. I haven't really read it all the way through and too thoroughly. I've glanced at it and had a quick flick through, but
Are there any
yeah,
pictures?
no.
That's
Unfortunately,
okay,
not.
Ellie. Books are hard.
Uh, just see like a pouty face. Books are my thing. Don't take this from me. It's
Is it in-
There you go.
Is it like
I've pinned it in there in case anybody wants to go and have a read through it.
okay?
Oh shit.
This is a tire everything. Chris sent me the doc and I read it through and I was like, okay, my dyslexic brain is not having a fun time with this.
Which is also where we gave it to Simon, in case there was anything Simon would spot. But there is a whole setup to this. There is a 4-page document, so...
Well, whatever is going on, I'm gonna keep trying to push and hopefully beat it. But I mean, the fact that I'm still here, you know,
That's true.
I take that as a win.
There's hope still.
Also, there were other Cychanias, just so you know. A creature in the mountain told me so. He'd seen others. Some were shorter. But they're all
Creature.
broken. She's the only one left. Yeah, and I will describe the creature again to same thing as I said to Fema. It's a tall, black, shiny skin, spoke dwarvish, very lanky. I wrote it all down, but I don't know where the notebook is that I wrote it down in. But
I can't say I recognise what that creature would be.
Well, I scried on him recently, and he saw my scry and said that he will come find me when the time's right.
Huh.
Ominous.
Okay. You watch as she kind of puts her finger up momentarily, just so she can focus, and you watch as she kind of places a hand out, kind of index finger placed against her temple, and you watch as there's a moment where she's just kind of muttering something out before there is a kind of a moment where she stops and just kind of looks up, her eyes kind of moving backwards and forwards slightly. Paladin knows what that is.
Oh,
He...
Granddad didn't.
That doesn't surprise me if what I've just been told is true. Give me a sec. I need to actually find the notes of what this thing is, because I did the roll before I actually found the document.
Ah, very good.
Classic.
Oh, so this is what the creature is.
Mm-hmm.
No, so before you joined, back when it was like me, Lloyd, Kay, that lot, there was a creature that we stumbled across during a long rest that recognized Titania, and what's the first thing that actually did recognize her, and also said that there were others. And we haven't seen nor heard from him since, but Cat has scryed on him recently and found out he's still alive and apparently strong if you can see Cat's scry, or Ellie's
Mhm.
scry.
So we might find out what Cychania is, or what that guy is.
What that guy is.
Okay.
Here we go.
God, there's a lot to keep track of.
Yep.
I know, right?
It's as if this campaign's been going on for nearly 3 years.
It's like,
I know.
make a complicated
Mortar's kind of rubbing
character.
his temples. Mortar's rubbing his temples like, ah.
That creature is called an Azen. It's Azen. It's a creature of old, otherwise known as a memory vessel. They were artificial creatures grown to house an individual's consciousness, far surpassing them after they pass away. Azens are notoriously fragile, but capable of storing themselves, going without food or water or any amenities whatsoever. But they maintain memories of who they were beforehand, and that's their job, their sole existence. Many of the Azen were hunted back during the time when Ringar and his servants otherwise ruled the Alliance, or the Shattered Crowns Alliance. For one to have lived is unique. They were creations from some of the older days of the builders and the architects, the ones who made things such as monolith or Zakers.
Oh. Okay. Huh. Yeah, that's... So it's all interlinked somehow. To stumbled across him then was... Wow.
Or purposeful. Azens are very little is known about them. If it was able to see your magic and could identify you based on what it looked like, then it might have the capacity to follow a magical scent, so to speak. A trail that you might naturally leave behind, or something that it can find over time. In other words, it might have come to you.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Well, I met one, and he was really cool, and he's called Friend. Because he didn't want to give his actual name, which is understandable.
Yes.
Why is he a friend?
It was... It's just a name. I called him Friend. He didn't want to give his actual name, so we just called him Friend.
Like,
So what I'm
did he
hearing
help
is-
you out?
Well, I mean... He gave us some information. He told me about, like, there were other Sicanias, and he seemed to know a lot about this. So, I mean, he didn't do any harm.
Does count me a
Just-
little suspicious.
Fair.
So, are you going to say Mortar?
Oh, nothing too interesting. I think your point was much better made than what I was gonna say. I was just gonna comment on the fact it's like, so you come up with names like Treladex, Cinder, Terrador, etc.
Hey,
And
I
you
didn't
call
name
this guy
Treladex.
Friend.
Treladex is his name.
Okay. But you get
Okay,
the point.
Jamie.
I didn't name him.
No, I did.
Yeah, Chris named him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him some
Treladex
credit.
was a living dragon.
Feeling a bit fishy.
Yeah, I know the others. And look, this was like episode
Don't go,
60 something?
don't go back.
Episode? Are we in
Don't
some
go
kind of
back.
play?
Yeah, what episode?
No, no, this is me talking to you lot.
Yeah.
Judging my
know,
naming.
Of course you're talking to us.
Yeah. Ellie, who
Ellie,
else
you
would you be
feeling okay?
talking to?
Ah,
Ellie, are you okay?
Don't worry, she gets like this sometimes.
I feel you.
It's
I
the
feel
wild magic. It does this sometimes.
ah.
You. I get it.
But either way, it's so happy you're here. And I'm gonna sort of like pull out my spell book and all the runes. So my casting changed. I cast via runes now instead of like normal spells.
That's excellent. Thaemar told me that you didn't know that you had them, that they were something that had been removed.
Well, I didn't know whether that's something I'd forgot because I mean there's been a lot on my mind, but a lot of my memories come back, and a lot of these things I do remember now. But like, Granddad kind of let's just say he shook up my brain quite a lot, and made me confront the creature.
That sounds like him.
Yeah, it was
There's a reason he's in charge of the Beastlands.
yeah. Looks over, sort of like the party. Is like, yeah. It kind of there was a bit of a conflict, and well, Mortar didn't walk out of it so easily. She just whispers, "He tried to disintegrate my friend."
That would be a first.
Well, it's only because I've not introduced him to any of my friends. Well, I guess I knew. Yeah, but you knew him before I was your friend.
That's true. Anyway, I don't necessarily want to cut it short, but you said that
Oh, yes.
you were holding up the event of
Yeah.
talking-
No, we need to go and see
Yes.
Vinny's friend.
If you want to do that, we can catch up a bit later before you leave, and I'll take this time to catch up with Mortar. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And She takes a few steps towards you.
Hey, if it'd be okay, do you mind if we have this chat in private? And I'll look to Kirv and I'll say, would you be alright to come in?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Okay. As you two otherwise head off to, I'll probably say, if you're leading the way, Mortar, it'll be to Mortar's room, where there is a shattered vase against the wall currently.
Oh, mind the ceramic. Mind the ceramic. I have no idea what happened in here.
Yeah, no.
What were you and Romulus up to here?
Oh, he challenged me to another fight, so I threw him into a vase to prove a point. It was awesome. You should have been there.
I should have. That sounds
cried.
amazing.
He cried.
He
It was awesome.
cried. Oh.
It was awesome. Yes. Proudest moment of my life.
So I guess quick question in this moment. Beau, is there anything in particular you wanted to do before we begin with these two groups heading off? Is there a group you wanted to go with, or is there anything particular you wanted to do?
Not particularly, no. I guess Beau's probably headspace is just to prepare for the journey.
Okay.
You know what? Actually, as we're heading up, I'll go, hey, Beau, get to your room a second. There's a little surprise waiting for you.
Oh, you're too nice. Cute.
You didn't shit in his bed, did you?
You'll ruin the surprise.
Is it another bath?
Oh my gosh.
You know me so well.
He's run a bath and there's a toaster at the end. It's a free bath
Oh,
bomb.
beautiful.
Whoa.
Favourite kind of bath, electric.
Mortar invest.
Got to recharge
how
before
you
we go through the dungeon.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, because we all forgot Steve's character is a robot from the
He
future.
runs on double A's.
The robot.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
the
like
amount
when
of
he
alcohol
stores
he consumes.
Batteries.
I feel like it's just in my bloodstream now.
Mm-hmm.
Your blood is just pure alcohol.
If it goes below
Could be worse.
90% at any point, he just starts to have really bad
Yeah.
detox.
He gets poisoned if he doesn't have alcohol inside.
I mean, for a monster hunter, that's a pretty useful trait.
Yeah.
Mm.
I agree.
It'd be
Yeah.
incredible
I
to
agree.
go up against vampires.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Vampire takes a bite and it's like, oh, where's my head hurt?
I do love the. Yeah, I was gonna say it's just like his blood literally inflicts every hangover he ever should have had on his enemies.
Oh my word. So,
He's crippled in vampire corpse. This is just a drop of his blood.
okay. So we'll begin with Mortar, Kirv, and Tarscott. Then we'll move to Beau and what he sees. Then we'll move to Vinny and Ellie and go and speak to Carvan. Romulus will spend this time catching up with Darwin, and I'll tell Harlan that when he shows up. So, as you head into Mortar's room, Tarscott otherwise kind of just doesn't necessarily. It's not necessarily standing next to the doorway, but she's not like going to take a seat of her own volition.
That's fair enough.
She kind of
Mortar will just kind of walk to the center of the room and just kind of stand and just go, take a seat if you want, but don't stand on ceremony or anything.
Thank you. And she otherwise sits down on the floor, cross-legged, and just goes, so, I was informed by Theamar regarding something, and from Ellie regarding your weapon. It has unique symbols on it.
It does. Kirv, would you be able to just close the door a sec? This is kind of something I kind of want to keep in this room for the minute until I kind of have aired it a little, because I do have a little bit of information now.
Close the door with me inside or outside?
No, you stay inside. I want you to hear this.
Yeah, sure. And she closes the door and sort of leans back against it.
Mortar kind of plonks down on his bum, cross-legged, and he's going to pull the Black Scorpion out of his holster, and he will place it on the ground and say, "Don't touch it, by the way. It's not good for anybody's health."
Mhm.
Yeah.
He informed
I
me
went
as such.
to. Yeah. Went to some archive or something. There's some place underground. There was like a bunch of Dwar, I think. Bunch of Mordant as well. That was cool. And they basically began deciphering some of these runes, and apparently it ties it back to the atrocities and some of the evil gods from that time. I've forgotten what they were called. Name escapes me. And apparently this weapon is, I think it's a host for several different gods or something, or like heralds of gods or some shit. And then this is the bit I kind of really haven't spoken to anybody about yet, but so Mortar will get like a piece of the ceramic from the shattered pot, and he'll kind of like draw this symbol into the ground of the two triangles and the teardrop in the center. He'll say, "Don't touch this one either. That is a bad idea." He'll say, this symbol in particular, apparently it's tied to something called the Dripping Insanity, or something like that.
I'm familiar.
You are?
Yes. This is probably why Thamar got me involved. My expertise is various religious studies. More accurately, the understanding of what has been lost from previous times. I'm an archaeologist by nature.
Cool.
I know that the Dripping Insanity is a deity unlike many others. The Dripping Insanity, from what I understand, and as the symbol you've shown, is one of relative passiveness for the most part. But
they said it was a like an unaligned, like they didn't take sides or something. Like there was a bunch of kind of these entities or something that didn't actually fight, but they were there.
Yes. It's been a closely guarded secret with one of the Dripping Insanity's associates.
Associates? That thing has friends?
Yes. In fact, going by the name of the Secret Keeper. For the most part, an individual of unknown origin, same with the Dripping Insanity, but the two of them are close for one reason or another. You feel almost a chill in this room at the moment, Mortar, as you see, standing next to Kirv, yet slightly behind Kirv, what looks to be the figure you recognize.
Yeah. Mortar will try to keep his eyes on Scott and try to avoid his eyes wandering over to this figure.
Yeah.
Just focusing, just trying to forget that it's there.
Yeah, that's fine. The two of them are intertwined somehow. I don't know the full details, and I also know better than to pry into such histories. They're called the Secret Keeper for a reason, and there's a reason that neither of their names are known, unlike many of the other out-of-Pantheon deities that have history. Lucrox, Romulus.
It's interesting you mentioned the names, because this dwarven guy that I was talking to, this dwarf, he was onto something. And I think in this weapon, somehow or somewhere within these symbols and shit, I think he discovered the name of the Dripping Insanity. He went to say it, and then he couldn't say it. Like, it was gone. It just, he never even originally thought of it, that kind of thing. I don't really know. And then...
That would make sense.
And then he touched the symbol and kind of died.
Kind of died.
Well...
How do you
So-
kind of die?
Okay, so the weapon was like almost floating, right? It was like being studied and shit. And I told him about its ability to change forms into these different guns and stuff. And he said, do it. So I did. And he was like, oh, there's all these runes and shit. So he began like doing like drawings and stuff. He then stumbled across this name, which then he probably forgot. And then his hand on one of the symbols he drew, this one here, he points to the dripping insanity symbol. He accidentally put his hand on it. And then it kind of looked like he was having a stroke, like his kind of skin was turning into like rubber, or like his bones were turning to rubber, like right in front of me, and he was dying really fucking slowly. So and then he died.
I
Powerful
see.
symbol.
That would be what is traditionally known as invoking a symbol. Drawing it and then placing your hand upon it is usually a way to connect with said deity or great power. In most cases, it's very dangerous to do so if the deity is aware of your presence. If it is, in the case of mine, not a significant place of power, or there isn't a conduit or catalyst nearby, it's usually quite harmless. If you were to say, for example, leave this symbol here, carved into the floor, then so long as whatever the source is doesn't return, you should be fine. If your weapon is, as you say, tied to many different deities, it's quite possible that it's the catalyst or the conduit. Simply by being in the presence, invoking purposefully or not, could result in drawing upon the power of the dripping insanity. It's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still kind of confused by it. Like, this is kind of a lot. I don't really know what to do from here. I've been told that an acolyte of the dripping insanity is apparently following me and will eventually catch up with me, and I have to kill it or something. But I don't know. He kind of hesitates for a minute.
Roll me a wisdom save.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's 5.
Remember, you also get bonus +4 because Kirv is nearby.
Oh, hell yeah. +9?
Ah, that's what you brought me with.
I didn't
14.
actually remember that, but that's only a 14.
A 14, you can't help but your eyes do gaze towards the figure.
Yeah.
And kind of in that moment, you watch as they just take a step forward, passing by Kirv, and almost with a kind of a light wave of their hand, you watch as... Well, I'm going to roll for Taskot in this instance, because this is something she would be potentially aware of.
Swear to God, don't kill Taskot.
No,
If-
this won't
does
kill.
It look like, does it look like the figure is trying to do something to Taskot?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm going to invigorate on the saving throw.
You don't need to. So,
Oh, okay.
she rolled with advantage because of her cloak of magic resistance, and she rolled an
Oh, fuck
18 and a natural 20.
Oh,
Oh fuck yes.
In this instance, you watch as there's a moment where her head almost twitches, where her whiskers kind of almost begin to almost tingle and spike outwards as if sensing something is nearby. And in that moment, you watch as she twists in almost this uneven motion before her body just sinks into the shadow. And in a moment's notice, you watch as the form that the kind of the young 8-year-old boy just kind of looks at this kind of interaction, kind of quickly looks around the room. I'm just going to roll for what they would get. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to quickly roll for Tarscott's stealth on this. Tarscott rolled pretty well, but it's not a natural 20, so it won't actually help. In this instance, as you watch as the form looks up towards where Tarscott is, and Tarscott looks back down at where the figure is. There's this moment as Kirv, you have now suddenly become aware that something is going on. Tarscott's just cast a spell, melded into shadow and disappeared, and Mortar's just kind of sat there staring at something that was, or something that isn't there, shall we say.
Mortar's going to, as kind of this kind of is happening, like this kind of split second, Mortar's going to go, Anonymous, wait!
Kirv kind of looks around the room. What's going on?
Mortar's looking very pale and very, he looks very fucking serious. Persuasion +3. Okay, that is a 17.
Okay, 17. There is... In this moment, you see Anonymous standing there. And in this moment, they are staring up at one corner of the room. And in this instance, they haven't taken their eyes off of them. You don't see any weapons by any means on the figure as they stand there, but you can see that their hands are almost lightly flexing. Kind of the fingers are slightly creaking as if moving something.
Kirv, I'm going to need you to open the door, step outside. Don't close it. Just step back. Just a little bit, okay? You trust me.
If there's a fight, won't you need me?
I don't plan on fighting. I don't plan on fighting this guy. I just need another set of eyes that I can trust to help me with this if shit goes real sideways.
You see that Kirv sort of had lifted her arm to like take out her scythe, but her eyes lock to yours and she hears you and she pulls her hand back down and she nods and she walks backwards slowly and opens the door and stands a few steps back.
I'm still
what's
here.
Going on? Okay, what are you seeing?
A silhouette of something.
Yeah, I see it too. I met him recently. Anonymous. Come on, buddy. This is no way to introduce yourself. What are you gonna do? You can be honest, we're friends here.
Roll me another persuasion check.
Yeah, Mortar hasn't even touched Black Scorpion.
Yeah.
It's still on the ground. That is a 10. Oh, no, sorry, that is a 9.
A 9? Okay.
Yeah.
In this moment, Anonymous doesn't say anything and continues kind of staring, kind of the arms almost slightly twitching.
I'm going to slowly approach just trying to be as non-threatening as possible, almost like very, very cautious. Anonymous. Hey. Come on, buddy, talk to me. Remember we had that great chat. We tagged along to all those different places. Come on, you can chat to me.
You watch.
And I'll try to put my hand on Anonymous's shoulder as gently as possible.
You go to do so, and your hand almost feels as if it's phasing through it. There is no physical substance there. In this moment, you hear what sounds to be almost a click from the side of Anonymous's mouth, as Anonymous looks away, and you watch as Task or otherwise climbs down from the corner of the room, and you watch as Anonymous kind of shoves his hands into his small pockets at either side and takes a few steps away and leaves the room.
Mortar will just kind of stand there for a minute and just watching Anonymous go by Kirv. Does he seem to register her at all? Like, does he do anything as he passes her?
No, by no means.
I think Mortar kind of lets out just a shaky sigh. Okay, I think he's gone.
Yeah. I'll say this now. I made an agreement with Anonymous not to tell you who they were, nor to tell you the Dripping Insanity's real name should I discover it.
Wait. You're working with Anonymous?
They were communicating in my head.
You mentioned someone else. That was you?
Someone else?
Fuck. Yeah, I mentioned someone else he was working with.
Oh, no. No. This is my first interaction with them. They spoke to me mentally in my head. I made an agreement with them.
Just now?
Yes, just now. During that protracted silence, we made an agreement that I don't tell you the names of the Secret Keeper or the Dripping Insanity should I discover them, and that will be a secret I will take to my grave. In exchange, they aren't going to wipe me from history.
Fuck. You just hear that from a couple steps out of the room as Kirv walks back into the room. Okay, what the fuck was that? Wipe you from history?
So, there's a new development. It's part of the reason why I wanted you in here. And then I'll find a way to tell everyone else at some point. I'm not really sure how to.
You cannot tell them of this agreement.
Right, yeah. The agreement, yeah, that's your thing. That's fine. But I need to. The whole point of what kind of happened, yesterday, was that I be more open with what I'm doing, and now I'm being told that I can't tell anyone.
No, I can't tell anyone, but I can't have either of you telling Ellie specifically the agreement that I'm in. Knowing the way she is, she might try to get me out of this. If she does, your Anonymous might see her as a more opportune target.
Oh, fuck. Alright.
There's no ill will from what I can tell, but should she discover either the names of the Secret Keeper or the Dripping Insanity, there's intention there that she'll need to bargain her way out. You're not meant to.
So if I Did he say why? Or can you not tell me that either?
Something to do with you're not ready yet.
But, riddles. Oh,
And creatures
so full
of great
disclosure.
power.
Full disclosure, there was a tiny shadow midget running around trying to kill Tarskov, but in reality they were talking and making a deal. I've met this thing once, and it was after my encounter with, it was after the War died. And I haven't really known how to tell anybody about it. Because, well, I mean, wiping from history isn't exactly something I can easily bring up without maybe stirring a little bit of panic. And there's something else as well. You remember when bad things happened and I killed okay, by the way, Tarscott, full disclosure, I am a very, very, very mentally fucked up person. So
I mean, you're carrying around an item devoted to the dripping insanity. If you weren't, I would ask how you're doing it.
Right, but what you're going to hear now is going to make you question that even more. When I killed Ellie, I assumed Snap was in control.
Seems logical.
It wasn't Snap. There's another one.
Another entity within you?
No, I don't know. Another personality, I think. Another fragment. I'm not really sure. But they look like me. They talk like me. You've actually spoken to them.
I have.
I spoke to you yesterday. You hear those words through Mortar.
Mortar will point at his mouth. And, like, he looks really concerned and confused.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot,
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, he's more
What are you
reasonable
apologizing for?
because he kind of we kind of had a after after the incident at the observatory or wherever we were underground with the dwarf, we left and I let him take control of me for a bit of time. Because there's a reason.
Otherwise, as you go to speak, there's almost a little bit of stumbling as both parties try to talk before there's a pause. Go ahead.
There's a reason. I figured he basically, when this guy was dying in front of me, right, I wanted to end it quickly. Because he looked like he was in a lot of pain, so I went to go and kill him. I went to end his life on the spot. It was a reaction. And then he stopped me. And said that it would just draw more. And he said it would just draw more attention. And we had a back and forth. And eventually I got the idea this guy was nothing like Snap. Snap is an animal. This guy could think. This guy was me. He was me without the parts that make me me. He wasn't Sahib, he was Mortar. And we chatted, and he And I said, okay. We came to an agreement that I would sit back for a bit, let him feel what it's like to be outside. He hadn't experienced that for years or some shit. And we ended up having a really good chat, and he walked around, and we actually saw Vinny going and getting the bits they wanted for Carvern. We followed him and made our way back, and when you and Romulus were talking to me about my behavior and everything that happened and the fighting, that wasn't me who was replying to you. It was him. And that's what I'm apologizing for. Because I should have been the one to apologize and not.
I think Kirv at this point is, you can see on her face a lot of different thoughts are going by her. And she's a little bit frozen, I suppose.
Mortar, can you roll an insight check for me, please? And Kirv, roll me a deception or persuasion of your choice. I'm going to say with disadvantage due to the nature of how you've portrayed this. Because the other Mortar
Can you
at the
message
moment
me?
wants to...
Because I don't know what this is about.
This is about you're saying that there's conflicting things going on. And right now, Mortar, in quotations, is trying to read what those distresses are.
Okay.
So this is disadvantage. And so I'd say this is your choice of perception or dissuasion. Okay, well, doesn't matter. 14 plus whatever out of the way.
Yeah, I got 15.
Okay, so in this instance, there's a moment where you watch as Mortar's head kind of tilts to one side before kind of righting itself.
Well, I'm sorry that I did not realize it wasn't you.
There's no way you could have realized. I barely know when it's happening myself.
I don't come and go as I please. I do exist. Hi. I am the other, shall we say. I am what you could refer to as Sahib's logic. To a fault, but the logic. Snap, as he calls
He's me,
it.
but smarter.
Yes. Snap, on the other hand, is primal.
Fucking animal.
But has your best interests in heart when it comes to saving you.
Yeah, he showed up for me once.
And then
was
took a
occupied when I
limb.
fucking died.
He wasn't
No,
able
apparently
to.
not. Apparently he didn't take a limb. Apparently that was nothing to do with him. Apparently that was just part of the fight.
Did it just fall off?
No, like I don't know. I was out of it for that.
It was torn off, and there was a reason that he couldn't reply at that time.
So are you guys to do with the gun and this dripping insanity?
I can't say, because I don't know the full details either. I know some things, but not everything. As
Apparently
for...
these guys have been around for my whole life, more or less. But they manifested when my life was going to end. Is when they
Yes.
manifested.
I'm the one that kept him alive initially. Snap showed up later, and Snap's more feral. So Snap has a bit more of a kick to them than I do. I prefer to listen and watch and intervene when I'm needed, or in this case, converse. But don't think I'm going to do this every time. This is simply to prove a point. She is one that you trust.
Just doing a lot of talking.
Yes, I have plenty to say. She is one that you trust,
wow.
and...
Yeah.
well, Tarscott could learn a few things from this, and from us. And you watch as, well, you understand as your hands move forward and begin to morph the gun, and you watch as Tarscott begins to look, as you see the gun is pulled outwards and seems to portray a new form that you've not seen before. But you can see that it almost seems to be like a rammed, almost glitched version of your weapon. Non-functional by all means, but where all of them have been layered on top of one another. As if all three forms have been pulled out at once and made it just an amalgamation of something.
Fuck.
Like I said. Like he said. Smarter.
Is that a threat?
No, that's allowing Tarscott to have a look at the weapon because, I mean, she's the one of religious power and made a deal with a creature that you couldn't see and by all accounts could have wiped all three of us from history. So I felt like it was permanent to let her
intervene then, to be honest.
No, but like he said in the past, he has purposes for you, so it's not necessarily something I could have intervened with.
Of course.
I'm logic, not emotion. That's you.
Yeah, no kidding. And there you are. We got another party member.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
I can't speak for him, but I'm fine. Regardless, I'm going to take a step back and keep an eye out for Snap. I'll tell you this now because it's better that I keep you in the loop to a certain degree. Snap is dealing with something I don't quite know what it is, but he said that you've met it before, so I'm going to let you know once he returns or once I know what it looks like.
Also,
I've met
the
it
room
before.
with
No, everybody.
what Kirv said. Oh, we've all met it before.
So I met
Apparently.
what? The thing that Snap is having an issue with?
Yes, I don't know what it looks like, just that Snap said that it suddenly showed up after or before the fight against the Herald, and he became preoccupied almost instantly.
Oh fuck! These things can just manifest like anywhere. Like they just appear.
I don't know. He just left, said he could smell something, and went after it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Snap can just leave. Like he can just walk around.
No, he's still in your mind. Just I don't know where in here.
Oh,
He's
this is
mentally
so
preoccupied.
Yes, mentally preoccupied and thus can't show himself. If it's any consolation, it is very difficult to navigate in here. I mean, you've been in here, so you understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, that final question, I'll let you go, but the other me's in that room, are they still screaming?
The ones behind the door? Always.
Yeah.
And it's not...
tell them to keep it down. I want a good night's sleep tonight.
I'll try. But, Snap's not gone beyond the door. So, whatever he's discovered, it's within your mind, not beyond the door.
Why are there versions of you screaming behind a door?
I don't. They're me's from a different reality or some shit. Like they're me's in which my time has run out. But I don't know.
They're
It's
different
like
pasts and futures and possibilities and stuff. Something to do with the weapon. It determined every outcome, and currently we're trying just to keep him on track. Where to what end, I don't know, but we're trying to stop him from becoming one of the screaming ones. If that helps.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
I do have a lovely set of pipes, though.
You do. I enjoyed them
I
while
do.
I could.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, can we go back to that bakery and you hand over control? I really enjoyed those miner's treats.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You know, so long as I'm right next to you in the driver's seat and can jump in whenever I need to, then yeah, absolutely.
Oh, of course. I just want to try them again. Anyway,
Oh, of course, yeah.
I will leave you to it. If you have any further questions, ask me in 24 hours. I'm going to go search for Snap. Oh, and by the way, that does mean I'm not watching, so don't call for me. And you suddenly
Julie
feel
knows it.
like
Thanks
there's
for the heads up.
you feel almost like there's an absence of something as it dissipates. Like, when it's there, you haven't noticed it ever, but now that it's gone, you feel almost this...
Ugh.
Almost like there's
Like
a emptiness within you. Yeah, like there's something that you're forgetting, but you don't know what you're forgetting.
Mortar's logic has gone walkabout,
leaving
only his raw emotion.
That's yes.
Oh god.
That is very true.
Oh no. So Mortar just kind of like takes a breath and he's like, okay, he's gone. It's me. I'm back. Darskov, you okay?
Yes,
That was a lot.
Yes, but also kind of makes sense. I mean, the dripping insanity is all about insanity. Having multiple versions of you doesn't not make sense. Having versions of you that are screaming is concerning, but also kind of makes sense given dripping insanity.
I always just thought it was the neighbors.
As for your weapon is a precursor.
Yeah, that's the word I use.
It's what is
like...
known as a... It's known as a dormant artifact. During the atrocities, various artifacts were created to defeat the atrocities and the traitor deities and powerful creatures, or the Forsaken Pantheon, that were, I'll use the proper term, that otherwise tried to cause all the damage that they did. Forsaken Pantheon also made their own versions of these, but those that do not belong to a traditional pantheon or ones that have been created after the atrocities are known as precursors, unassigned powers, ones that are not strictly devoted to anything or anyone, but in time become devoted based on the wielder. Some of these have long since become artifacts of power. Theamar has one, for example, as much as he would loathe me to mention it as such. He has a black wand that he created, and it became a precursor upon devoting the arcane to it. It was his pet project for quite some time. He asked for all of our helps in creating it. You've seen this black wand in action, notably.
Yeah, he's nearly killed me with it.
Indeed. So as far as it goes, this is a artifact to be, something that has been created by a powerful creature to be devoted to either itself or an aspect. There are many aspects, there are many things that it could involve, but it seems to have already grown to a certain degree. It's acquired some property that seems to be part of it. It has multiple forms by the looks of it. And its requirements have changed. It needs something new. Something of an immense power source, from what I can gather.
Mortar kind of subconsciously adjusts something in his pocket, and he'll kind of like scratch the back of his head, just kind of like you know when you get like anxiety when there's just a lot of information coming at you and you're just like, okay, I just need to stop for a sec. It's very much like that. Like he's just kind of going, all right.
Tarscott rolled a natural 1 on her insight. She will continue talking.
Could Kirv roll an insight as well?
Yeah, if that's all right.
Again, part of the reason why
what a time to roll a natural 1.
Oh my word.
I can keep law
Just
dumping.
no
Yay.
people sense.
That's a 15.
Okay, you can see that Mortar's struggling to take this all in. I mean, logic has just walked away, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all just raw emotion at this point.
If you want to rename them, by the way, to Logic and Feral, you can if you want to. Otherwise, we can keep with Snap and Silence. It's up to you.
We'll see.
So,
We'll see. I think.
sorry.
No, please.
So Kirv sort of gently puts her hand up in the air, just to making like a stop sign.
Yes.
I think there's been a lot of information, a lot of revelations. I think we might need at least a breather.
How about this? I'll write it down. We'll go from there.
That sounds
That
like a
works
great
for
idea.
me.
That works for me.
Okay. Remind me, Mortar, can you read?
Also,
Okay, cool. No, I have I have people in different campaigns who can't read, so I need to remember who's.
Mortar has.
Sorry.
Mortar can read very slowly because he's never been officially taught.
But he knows how to.
He knows how to, but it takes him a lot of time.
Okay. So I'll say during this time, Tarscott is going to write down everything.
Mortar again just kind of adjusts his pocket and he's going to go. I kind of want to go out for some air. Do you fancy grabbing some air? Talking to Kirv.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Air, yes. Air is good. Tarscott, are you okay if we catch up a bit later? I just need a minute to reset my brain a little bit.
Yes. Did you want to take your weapon with you? Or are you going to leave it here and I'll keep looking to see if there's anything else?
Probably for the best I take it. And Mortar will kind of grab the... Mortar will take it and he'll grab another piece of ceramic and like scratch out, like really just like savagely scratch out the symbol of the that he drew on the ground. He'll like scratch it as hard as he can until there's no trace of it in there, and he'll go kind of clap his hands together and go, okay, job done, carry on. And he'll...
Tarscott's going to kind of put her hand to one side of it, and you watch as she almost begins to sweep, almost as if moving the wood over the scratched out symbol. And it's not mending by any means, but you watch as she turns kind of the top bit of the wood and kind of almost sands it down so it's non-existent and just kind of pushes a small pile of wood chips to one side, as if somebody has carved something and then sanded it over. That should do.
Nice. Thank you. And thank you again for your help. I appreciate it.
That's okay. Sorry for overloading you with information, and sorry about the whole thing with whatever's going on. It seems very complicated. You have my sympathies, and if you ever get the ability to sending, you're welcome to contact me for bits and pieces information-wise. Just know that there are some questions I can't answer.
Understandable. I appreciate that.
Enjoy your air.
Cool.
And she goes
thank you, I will.
She goes about pulling out spare bits of paper out of a small bag and just begins writing stuff down.
Ooh.
Okay. As the two of you leave the room, kind of using this moment to get your bearings and try and calm down as best you can, we'll take a quick break.
Hell yeah.
I'll let you find the description about what Beau's item is in that meantime, because I've
already got it up.
Never mind. But either way, I'm going to quickly be right back, and we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. And then we'll be on to Cat and Vinny.
Stuff.
Won't be long.
Hell yeah.
Right, back in a minute then.
Oof, that was a lot of information. That was way more. That was way more stuff than I was expecting to happen. God
Cool,
damn. But now
I
Kirv's
knew-
in the loop.
I knew Taskot would have ideas,
though.
you know, but
She's. I mean,
She's
the
a
fact that
beast.
she's a freaking monster. Like to go to like speak to this thing, like this thing scares Mortar shitless. Like Mortar has no fucking clue what this thing is, but all he knows is it's got aura and it has power.
Ellie kind of knows most of the lords in the Beastland, so you know.
How? Sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick. How does that fit? How does that fit in? Did I miss something that task?
There was Taskot is pretty powerful with the Beastlands when it comes to information and stuff. Her people
Gotcha. Okay.
research all that. So yeah, she met her at one of the big meetings of all of the clans.
Oh, I'm with you. Right. Yeah. Okay.
And I met something like 30-something people, and Chris blew my brains out with so many names and descriptions that I actually had to record that bit of story just because I couldn't write or handle it. So I had to record it so I could write it down later.
I'm back. How's
can see
everyone
that.
doing?
Welcome back. Yeah, we good. We good, bro.
Good. I haven't blown your brains out with information and lore dump.
No, Dan is doing just fine. Like this was a really cool thing. But playing Mortar, who's got like an 8 intelligence, it's definitely hurting his head.
Yeah. However,
Did
you
we
now.
lose someone?
Yeah,
Who
we
we do?
did. I'm trying to work out who.
Steve.
Steve.
Fucking Steve.
Hmm.
I guess
Yeah,
he didn't want his
so-
present after all.
I guess not. I'm gonna message him
I
and make sure
guess
he's
not.
okay.
I think
Well-
Kirv is currently just shaking her head like, this all started with a goose. This all just started with a fucking goose. Eliminated from
Didn't
time?
end up.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
The stakes have kind of gone through the ceiling. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
I bumped my head on this little thing, and then next thing I know, I've got multiple personalities. I've got friggin' all kinds of shit going on. There's an insane
Welcome
god
back,
or
Steve.
something that happens to reside within this gun. There's something to do with the atrocities, which I know very little about, and there's a lot. Like, how the fuck are we supposed to deal with this? Like, I mean, and then on top of that, we got all of Romulus's like family or something that are trying to kill us or kill him.
Honestly,
Oh,
this is quite funny when you sort of put things down into like real simple terms. Like explain your character or the backstory in real simple terms. Mortar, bumped my head, now got personality problems. So lost a goose. Now
Sorry, I was
don't
back
know
now.
what's going
Just
on.
realised that I was muted the whole time.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, me.
I accidentally took out my earphone. It obviously automatically disconnects, and then it like muted me. And I was like, why is no one hearing me? And then I just saw
Aw.
Critic's message. I was like, well, something's wrong.
You're just there like, I'm saying so many funny things.
And no
You should
one's
be
laughing.
shit.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
You know all about that, Dan.
Oh, brother, don't I know
Wow.
it? Don't I know it?
Oh, I'm gonna go get a quick drink. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, that's right. Having a break. Oh. But yeah, glad you're all right, and I haven't destroyed you with information.
No, this
Nah.
no, this was great. Freaking Anonymous is scary as shit.
The notes that Taskot will be making is basically just this episode and what was said, because there wasn't much more for
Okay.
her to say. So it's just the details
Any-
of
Mhm.
the power
Any
source.
any information she could give me on the atrocities that she knows of without alluding to the identity of the Dripping Insanity or any of the bits that she made the contract with Anonymous,
Mhm.
I think Mortar might appreciate as well, just like for a bit of context.
Oh, that she can do.
Great.
There are
perfect.
plenty of history books on this matter, several of which she helped co-write. So that's all right.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
Don't worry, I appreciate it. I now have a new contingency. Should shit go
Yes.
real bad, real fast, Anonymous might be able to just erase a creature from existence.
Whoa.
So, and not so. In a little side. Well, in fact, actually, I'm not going to say that just yet because it's actually a cool thing. I'm going to keep to myself for the minute.
Okay.
Just for a minute.
So, out of reference, just so you know what that meant with removing from history, that it would have invoked a combat if it was needed. But I believe, Dan, you're familiar. Or actually, no.
Yeah.
So, Dan, you know the spell because I mentioned it to you when I was building one of my other characters.
That's right.
For yours.
That's right. That's right.
There is a 9th level spell called, I think it's Erase Time. It does a ton of damage to a very small localized area of your choice. But if it manages to reduce a creature to 0 hit points, it does the same thing as Disintegrate, but on a new level, because Disintegrate has the fun thing of, well, you can just True Resurrection to bring them back, or cast the Wish spell. Erase History, however, makes it so that if you don't do that within 3 days, you forget they existed and they are erased from history.
It's like a temporal version of Disintegrate.
Yeah, exactly, but it's 9th level.
That's alarming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see why I'm scared of this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a spell that I will not be using like liberally. It is by all accounts something that is like that's the kind of spell that is strictly kept in a very small box, and yes, that box is in the form of an 8-year-old who most people can't see.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
It's fine.
Oh my word.
He's got a handle on it. I mean, he didn't just kill Taskot, he actually had a conversation with her.
That's true. That's true. I was fully expecting this to just be like, yeah, Mortar, you are not heard. You are so insignificant in this moment. It's like, yeah, I get it.
Here's the thing, I had you roll, and you were off of the DC by just like a smidgen each time, because I rolled really poorly on the second roll. When you got a 9, I'd rolled a natural 1, which made the DC 10.
Oh my word. Oh well. I was like, oh yeah, well I can't invigorate if worse comes to worse, but
Well, unfortunately,
yeah,
it's a skill check,
thematically, I
so it
thought
made
that
it
worked
difficult.
really
But I mean, she rolled.
Oh, sorry, yes, sorry, no.
Yeah, she rolled an
I meant
18 and a
this-
20 on her save, which was honestly best rolls I've had all night.
Sorry it took a while.
That's
Emily
right.
and her dad have made homemade hot cross buns.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I'm
Very nice.
stuffing my face.
That is fair.
As
I bet this smells
Mortar
amazing.
and Kirv are like,
Oh
as
yeah.
Mortar and Kirv are walking away, Mortar is still kind of, his hand is like in his pocket, and he's just, it looks like nervous, kind of twitching, but he's definitely like holding something and kind of like moving it around kind of nervously.
It's a fidget spinner.
Not quite.
I assume it's something PG.
Oh, very, very.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, Rebecca, it's his third leg.
Yep.
Canon. Also masturbates when he's nervous.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And I was going to say that Kirv holds his hand, but I'd rather not now.
His third hand.
Oh fuck.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Anyway.
Oh my god.
So, as the two of you leave to get some air, Beau, you otherwise head up to your room at Mortar's behest.
Yep.
What does he see?
So, as you kind of enter your room and stuff, what kind of state is your room in?
I mean, I haven't really been in it too much, so I'd say it's still pretty well kept. Bed's not made though.
On that bed that isn't made, kind of just beneath where the pillows would be, you can see that there is a a thick tinted black bottle. It looks like it's been shaped in the design of what you would recognize for sure as a demon hunter. It's in the shape of a Baylor demon skull. Like, you know, you got the horns going around the outside. It's all done with glassware. It's all done with glasswork. And you can see where the eyes would be. You can see the sockets. It's almost a clear window into inside the bottle, where you can see a liquid which is like blood red, with tinges of black smoke-like texture and electric blue streaks that are constantly kind of swirling, almost like in a hypnotic pattern. You can see the brand tag beneath the skull says that this is Demon's Fang Whiskey. And then beneath it, it says every sip is a sin.
Ooh,
Jesus.
I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Beau picks it up and obviously examines it. Damn.
This is some very, very strong shit. And Mortar, and you can see there's a little note kind of just underneath it that says this had me missing 5 days worth of time. The last time I had 3 cups of this. Enjoy. And then
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. There's a small wooden box next to it.
Okay. Oh, I'll open it up. I'll have a look.
As you kind of open it up, you can see that you would recognize immediately that there are 2 revolver cylinders for loading the bullets in and everything. Custom made specifically to house a different ammunition to what you have, and next to it, all kind of lined out and embedded like nicely in this very almost kind of velvet like inlay. You can see that there's this ammunition which is forged by dwarven blacksmiths and blessed by the church. These customized ammunition cylinders are designed to fit a certain type of revolver belonging to Beau Cooper, the Demon Hunter. They hold the highly effective Dragonfire rounds, blessed silver bullets engraved with the head of a roaring dragon at the tip. Potentially not massively useful against demons, but incredibly handy for diversifying one's arsenal. And then the final thing just below that is the wooden weapon charm that Romulus made. And you can see that on the design, the actual woodwork hasn't been touched, but you can see in the center there is what looks like a rune. And as you kind of look at it, you can see that it translates into a common script, and it says resilience and tenacity.
Okay. Damn. Guess Beau has a quick look, see if there's anyone around. Can't go. It's be enough to make a grown man cry. But the first thing that comes to his mind is, what has Mortar done, or what is he about to do?
That is
apologising for something. He's prepared to apologise for something.
He's evolving.
Yeah. Pre-apologising before the scenario. Damn. I need to take note of that. He examines it. I guess, well, no one's there, so I don't really need to give this away. I've got a few things in my head that Beau's thinking.
Okay.
As he kind of examines what he's got. He's going to take a few minutes, kind of have a look at him, before he heads back out the room.
Okay. I'll say, looking over them, you do recognise the Dragonfire rounds. These are ones which you personally haven't used, but with the nature of these cylinders, it requires these specific cylinders to be used in order to prevent your gun from exploding.
Makes sense.
Because the Dragonfire is a much more potent version of natural gunpowder, but it's also traditionally used in much vaster quantities. Campaign 1 players will remember Sasha having the Dragonfire cannon, or the Dragonfire hammer, sorry, that could fire a single dragon hammer round.
Total you have 12 bullets of that.
And they do how much bonus damage?
I'm not sure. We didn't get
thought
around
I
to
sent that over.
to
Okay.
saying that part.
In which case, I will quickly go have a look, because I'm pretty sure I wrote it down somewhere. Pretty sure it's in here. Yep. No, with the amount that you spent, there were 36 rounds. There were 2 cylinders and an extra sets of rounds that were in the pre-things that you could just slot them into the cylinder.
That's right.
Each of these of the Dragonfire rounds does an additional 1d6 fire damage on hit. However, shells cannot be recovered because they are incinerated upon being fired. So, if you ever need to do some bonus fire damage, as much as that might not be good versus demons, it's certainly good versus a lot of other enemies.
Yeah, exactly. You say an extra 1d6.
1d6 fire damage on top of anything else you do. Yeah. Okay.
Lovely.
With that,
thank you very much.
Ellie and Vinny. Unless there's anything else you want to do, Beau. Did you want to go and eavesdrop on the others while they were having their existential crisis?
Did I hear anything like scuttling around or like any panic coming from the
I'd
room?
say you'd...
We weren't trying to be quiet by any means.
No, but at the same time...
Cross our minds.
I'll say what probably happens is you'd have a look through your stuff, you'd have a look through it, you'd head back downstairs, and kind of on your way down the stairs, you otherwise heard Kirv say what she said as she re-entered the room and closed the door, but not quite closed.
Okay.
So it was probably fuck.
It was.
I think it was. So you heard that, and you otherwise kind of heard the door get pulled, not quite closed, but pulled to at least.
Yeah. I think for now, Beau is still new to the team. I don't think he wants to be seen as a eavesdropper, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Trying to listen in on private conversations, because obviously Mortar specifically asked for only 2 people to come, so he'll just head back to the main room, and then he'll start doodling in his sketchbook.
Okay. As you're otherwise doodling, you watch as Darwin kind of leaves the mansion, just kind of has a look around. Do you know where Tarscott is?
No idea. No idea.
And he heads back into the mansion.
Yeah.
Knowing that walking off is probably not going to be a good idea. Okay.
No.
Ellie and Vinny, as the two of you walk down the corridor, taking the various turns before entering into Kamir's magnificent mansion.
I will let Vinny take the lead as his friend.
Yes, since
And I haven't met her conscious yet, so
since
That's
I've been here
fair.
before.
I don't know if she's ready for what is walking in.
Suppose that's true. Okay. So Vinny, you step inside, as you've been generally just given access, the two of you, you enter into the chamber. You can see the wonderful kind of the marble-lined room, the large pillars, the balcony overhead that otherwise looks down upon the large central dining table, and you can see that Carvern is there, like, using the daggers, throwing them, and kind of swinging them from side to side. And you can see that Carvern is wearing what looks to be a rather large kind of soft jacket, or outfit, and is currently just taking swings and seemingly getting used to the new feel of this clothing. But you can still very much see that sections of Carvern's like face and stuff. Without the scales, it looks very jarring, looking at almost like the best way I can describe it is like a Deadpool's skin. It's lumpy in places where there are bits that are sunk where scales should be embedded, almost in like a wave pattern of kind of this dark pink reddish flesh where it's kind of tried to heal over.
Yeah, flesh that was never meant to scar in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Nexor just kind of nods as the two of you enter, and you see Khmer, who's otherwise sat at the end of the table, just seemingly writing stuff down at this point in a book, just kind of looks up and sees the two of you enter.
Hello, we're back. I brought Cat.
Okay. Carvern turns and goes, "Ah, good to see you again," and hesitates at seeing Cat. "I'm glad you're here too."
Well, I'm glad to see you're up and about. Significantly better than last time we saw you, which is good.
Yes.
Both of you have been through a lot and are, I think, trying to make the most of a difficult situation. So, in that sense, I think you have a lot in common.
I suppose so.
How have you been? How is training going?
Training is going alright so far. Still got to get used to the strangeness of having exposed muscles and skin. It's not comfortable, but the nerve endings are wearing down a bit more, becoming less sensitive, thanks to Khmer and her brother's work.
That's good. I'm good to hear it.
And have you mentioned trust into the rest of your group? Is that something you'll be doing soon, or?
Soon, yes. We urgently need to go and deal with something for Cat. We've been leaving it for, I think, too long at this point. And hopefully that'll give you time to get properly back up on your feet.
Thank you.
I think as soon as we're done with that, Trustin should be our next priority.
Fair enough. And Cat, was it?
Well, actually, Ellie. Cat was the name I did go by, but
Ellie.
that's a long story.
Glad.
Yeah. So.
Glad to properly meet you.
Does she kind of put her hand out, or is just acknowledging? Because to be honest with you, I don't know.
She still has the two daggers held. At this point, she does kind of sheath them, and just kind of puts her hands at her side, but not necessarily like a. She nods in affirmation or in mention of you, and just kind of nods.
Okay, so I have a plan to. I can't say return your scales because, as horrible as it sounds, what you once had are gone, and I'm not strong enough to return them to you. But I don't know how much you actually know, but one of my friends is a dragon, and I'm currently working on rebuilding a body for him.
Huh. No, I haven't been told about this.
Okay, well, his name is Treladex. He's a good friend. I'll be straight up honest. He is just a soul at the moment. I need to rebuild a body so he can live once again. I can't create a white dragon like he was. I don't have the ability. A lot of my stuff is tied to the elements, so I'm gonna be rebuilding him, but based off of a spell that I have, that it's just part of his soul stone, which means when I do, he's gonna be a different form of dragon. He will probably, if this spell is a major component to it, probably be something along the lines of a prismatic dragon, which means he'll have access to most dragons' elements. This is kind of where I wanted to talk to you. One, I want to try and help you, which means that I'm going to have to give Trelodek some of my power, because he doesn't have any of his own in his current form, to infuse with his own ability, his own power, which will basically going to imbue scales upon you. It's the first hurdle, and this is possibly something that you will probably have to do while we go to Zaker's. Trelodek wants you to prove that you're worthy. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a dragon, and you're going to be receiving some of his power, if you want, that is. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, this is entirely your decision. But I believe it possible.
This entire thing hinges on the word of a dragon.
Word of a dragon. And the word of, well, just faith in my ability to do so. We've created amazing feats. No two shorts about it. I can form Trelodek a physical body for short durations of time, and Vinny can attest to that. This is territory that hasn't been ventured before. I'm just trying to make the best of a bad situation. And I genuinely believe, after a lot of theory, a lot of working things out, Vinny's going to be helping me while we're in Zaker's to refine the process of this. But I believe it is possible.
Roll me an insight, both of you.
That's probably like a minus as well. I think my insight sucks. Yes. No. 18.
19 minus 1. And Vinny?
23.
23. Both of you can tell. Carvern, in this instance, there is, as you're kind of mentioning the fact that she could get her scales back, there is almost like, there is a sense of hope to a certain degree that's there. She's not necessarily like clawing for it or wanting it. It is a sense of it's there and it's been put in front of her. As more and more of these conditions are being layered on, she's kind of becoming more and more held back by it. At the mention that she has to be worthy to a dragon, you can see that there is particular disdain at the idea of this all. With the roles from both of you, I'll say Kat or Ellie, you don't quite pick up why, whereas Vinny, having had a bit more expertise and knowing Carvern for longer, Carvern was never the kind to adhere to an authority figure. And the fact that this opportunity to heal the damage that has been done is being held back by a creature of power is making her hate the idea of this. Even though this could potentially help her. It's not necessarily that she's going to reject the idea, but I'll say in this instance you can tell that she is unhappy by it all. But I'll say, Kat, you just pick up that she seems to be upset about the whole thing, but you're not entirely sure why.
I'll be honest, I hadn't asked for many of the details before now, because I didn't expect to understand them.
There's a lot to it, and this is what I'm going to be going over with you in Zakers. It's going to be the entire team are going to be needed for this, and even my granddad is helping. Try and make sure that all the prep work is done and to reduce any possible repercussions. By all means, you're not going to be held account to Treladex. Basically, just wants to make sure that by giving you essentially his gift, you're not going to do bad things with it. But otherwise, you won't really see or hear from him because he travels with me. You'll have free reign to do as you wish. You can still be your own entity and your own person. I just want to give you the best opportunity you can to, one, live a normal life, and two, you're pursuing, like, your journey. And I want to give you the best chance you've got of achieving what you're setting out to pursue. We've all got journeys and things we're doing, and to give anyone a good chance, I'd like to take it.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion test, please.
Don't make me persuade, because I think I suck at that as well. Yeah, I do.
Come on, man. Come on.
That's a 16.
A +3 is not you suck at it.
Look, can I make a history? Investigation. I get a +8 on them, right? Historically, this is good.
You've been spoiled by higher levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you have. Maybe let's just end the campaign here.
No.
Send you back to level 1. So could do it all again.
The mobile apocalypse happens. I consume everything.
She looks at you, and Vinny, you recognize that face. Even though in this instance there are less scales for the tells, you are familiar with them. You recognize the flaring of her nostrils, the kind of a moment of almost defiance as she almost makes herself larger in this instance, or does the perceived, like, making herself more bold in this instance. You can tell that she seems to be upset at the notion before you watch as she kind of relaxes almost begrudgingly. I want to talk to this Treladex first.
That's absolutely fine. He also wishes to talk to you. I think Grandad will probably be coming by some point soon. He's dealing with some stuff, but... And then the two of you can have this conversation.
Fine.
Before you do, though, I do just want to clarify something, and if you're upset already, I think this is probably not going to help. But I do feel it needs to be said. There is an alternative.
Her eyes meet yours.
You don't have to do any of this if you don't want to.
I know. I'm not doing this for me. And if your dragon friend can't see that, then I don't need his gift.
That's understandable.
Yeah, that's a good answer. In that case, then, whatever the outcome of your conversation with him, there's something I'd like you to have. And I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out the hammer.
Ah. So, what does it look like?
As we'll see a strangely elegant hammer design, almost like a sledgehammer in the relatively small head with two distinct hammer heads, and a very finely carved, almost very slightly curved, long wooden handle. It's clearly not light as a hammer, but it's not quite as hefty and a lot better weighted than a standard warhammer would be. As Vinny's able to pull it out, he holds it up and then tosses it into the air. It turns easily in the air, and he catches it again by the other end, catching it just below where the head is, and offering the handle out to Carverne.
You know, I'm probably not going to be able to wield something like this now. And she takes it. And as you let go,
I wouldn't be so sure.
Yeah. As you let go, you can see that there is almost a significant... Where she was expecting something heavy, she almost is surprised to be holding it in one hand quite comfortably. And you look as she begins to kind of look over it before kind of passing it off to her dominant hand, and you watch as she begins to swing it with surprising force yet grace with this. And
it's not as... Sorry, go on.
And you watch as the door opens to one side, and you watch as a Bryn walks out with what looks to be a bunch of what looks to be a wooden set of armor, as if he's been the target dummy up to now. As he walks out, and you watch as he sees the hammer, and you see his eyes go wide in that moment, as he... Okay. He rolled a 7 on his stealth. As he tries to back away through the door as Carverne turns around and just points at him. And... yeah, that is a natural 19. As you watch as a Bryn is clocked with this warhammer, and you watch as a Bryn just kind of hits the ground. You can hear kind of a light whimper from the oversized weasel before it just kind of pulls itself the last few inches towards the door and disappears through the small hatch at the bottom. This is good.
Won't be as destructive as the old one, but it should suit your new style better. Hopefully it goes well with the daggers as well.
I can make use of this. Thanks. This is probably... I never thought I'd be wielding something this light, but... I don't know. It's suitable for me, and it's also got comfortable familiarity. Thank you, Vinny. And
if you need help getting into the new mindset, I'd be happy to train with you, but it might be for the best if you get to grips with it on your own first.
Oh, don't worry. I can ask a Bryn to do that. And Nexor just kind of stands up and goes, "Oh, no. Bryn's had it tough today. I mean, you were going to be throwing daggers and he brought the appropriate equipment and you clocked him with a warhammer. It's my turn now. And he kind of lifts his shield off from the table and just kind of walks over and holds it to one side. Don't worry, I'll be training her. She's good at what she does.
Oh, believe me, I know.
And Vinny, please thank Mortar again for the jacket. It is most comfortable and it's good to wear something again.
I'll tell him.
Okay. So, is there anything else you would like to discuss before we potentially move on to whatever's left?
As we are heading back, then, I will give Vinny a rough breakdown of what it is I need him to do. So while we're going through the dungeon, part of what we're going to be doing is creating, my Titan armor that I have. It's bonded with my elementals and gestures to her crystals around her arms. It's bonded to Treladex. Terador. Well, I'm going to be giving Treladex some of my magic and then getting him to cast Titan armor on Carvern. Then there'll be points where other members of the party, I'm going to need them to do bits and pieces. So to reinforce the scales, I'm going to need Romulus to use his stone rune, for example, to toughen them and stiffen them up. There's a point where I need to burn the surface layer of skin so the scales embed properly, which Treladex will be overwriting. And this will be one of the moments where I need your help. If you can inspire him to make sure that his spell goes off, because the last thing I want to do is, hurt your friend. But then, and this is the part that I need to research and need your help with quite a lot. So everything that's alive, everything in the world has a wavelength, innate magic. Even if they're not magical inclined, like a fight or what have you, there's still some degree of magic in them. And I need to try and be able to identify these wavelengths. So I was going to get you to help me. I want to try and see if I can identify yours, and then I need to try and match yours. So when it comes down to it, and the final part of Carvern's process is I need to imbue the scales with her own magical wavelength so her body doesn't reject them. So I need your help to try and identify that. So it's going to be some experimenting before we long rest each night, if that's okay.
Certainly, you'll need to. I'll need very precise instructions because this is not at all my area.
In Venice, this isn't really many people's area. This isn't something that's well documented or researched. So we're doing this together, buddy. But I will obviously let you know, sort of like as we're going along. I'll say, can you do this, or can we do that, or can you do this? And it's gonna be trial and error. But I genuinely believe that we've got this. It's the final piece of the puzzle that I need to work hard to achieve.
All right. Well, if you have a plan or something approaching a plan, I would be more than happy to help you finish it off.
Thank you. Well, before we have a long rest, then we shall start. But we've got this. And we'll help your friend. We'll help Carvan.
We will.
Also, Mortar's been here and gave her a jacket.
He... Well, he came with me last time and... gave her the daggers, the stalker blades. But I think he wanted to do more as well.
Oh, that was really kind of him.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I was almost going to say that's suspicious, but I don't think that's the case.
No, I'm thinking exactly the same thing, but I don't think suspicious is the word.
I don't know. The impression I get of him is that he's always been capable of that kind of kindness, and I don't think he... Well... I don't know.
His heart's in the right place.
Oh,
I-
much as I think he likes to pretend otherwise, I reckon he's actually a pretty big softie on the inside.
Yeah, I think so too. I definitely think so too.
Meanwhile, we smash cut
Just-
to Snap just beating something up.
Well, yeah. Well, we should probably get back. Yeah, what's the time now, roughly?
I'd say you're getting close to about like 3-4 p.m. or the equivalent of.
Okay.
So it would be about this time that Romulus would go with Vinny to make the weapon, and at this point, Kat would go with, or Ellie would go with Theomar, Theomar and Hearn to see Carvern.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. During which time, Theomar explains the whole situation with Khmer, and otherwise takes responsibility for her. Khmer and Nexor, they're going to stick around as Carvern is her charge, by all accounts. So they're going to stick around and still look after her, but they're going to be in Theomar's mansion for the purposes of this. And Theomar is going to basically explain that Trilodex wants to talk to her and kind of put her through some tests.
Cool.
And go from there. Which you won't be present for, because you'll all be in Zaker's Crossing. But the main
Exactly.
thing that does get mentioned is that Trilodex wants Carvern to fight Hearn and show off her ability. So, as one of the tests.
Oh.
And Carvern seems more than enthusiastic about beating up an old Minotaur, not knowing really how strong Hearn is. But she seems more than enthusiastic to give it her best.
Good.
Can't wait to see
Good.
that.
I'm glad that she's happy
Oh, you're not going to get to see
with the
it.
tests. No, I know.
Oh.
No, we're gonna be fighting our own battles.
Yeah, you're going to be fighting weird arc metal automaton creatures. And you remember Arcmites, your favourite. You remember those, don't you, Mortar?
I don't. Which ones were they?
Do you not remember your first introduction to the actual like sessions was you joined the party
Oh, those
and then
motherfuckers!
when you went into Zaker's and then was attacked by swarms of Arcmites.
That's right. Those guys are dicks.
You'll be fine. So
Well, you get round two
Chase
soon.
players.
yeah, you'll get round
Chase
2,
back
where you'll get to fight
dicks.
more of them. Anyway,
I do like to fight.
and you'll get to actually spar against one of the knights for the first time.
I do like to spar.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, you've done it twice in the past like 4 in-game days, so you're fine.
New personal record.
Meanwhile, Mortar and Kirv, the two of you are out and about getting some air. What are you doing at this time?
Oh. Holy fuck. I think Mortar's been saying that for the last 45 minutes we've been walking. He's just like, that was a lot, right? Like, just over and over. It's like, there'll be like 5-minute pauses between. He'll be like, but that was a lot, though.
I mean, yes. But you've actually had to experience this. You're experiencing it right now.
Right?
Right?
Woe is me.
Are you
Well, I mean,
seriously okay?
The trouble is, I feel like if I take the time to actually properly sit down and look at that, that's when that's kind of when the problems start to arise. I find that if I just try not to think about it, I know that's not healthy, and I know the whole point of the Thamar trying to kill me thing was like, you need to talk to your party members and stuff. It's like, yes, you're absolutely right, but then how long do I take that before I become a detriment? Anyway, I feel like right now what we need is some good food, some good drink, and somewhere just to have a chill out. You up for that?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I could go
Hey,
for some
nice,
food.
I haven't seen that before. Nice tattoo. Damn, with the gold and stuff, that is tight.
With everything I had completely forgotten, she says as she looks at the tattoo maybe a second too long before she pulls her eyes away.
Mortar's Mortar's then kind of like walked around. He's kind of looking the arm up and down, going like, "Whoa, where did you get that done? The gold really works. Like against the purple. This looks sick."
Yeah, no, yeah. It was the Dwar. They sent me to a tattooing place. I think it's real gold actually, which is kind of crazy.
Fucking hell. Wow. It does. So could you just remind me and the player as to what the tattoo actually properly looks like? I remember bits of it, but I don't remember the whole picture.
So think of like an idea of like blood dripping down her arm,
Perfect. Yep.
but it's gold and it's all moving.
Like, is it like moving? Is it like kind of dripping, moving?
Yeah, I mean running down
Oh,
in
that's
streaks
cool.
and dripping and that kind of thing.
Wow.
I hesitate to say, but almost like a lava lamp, the kind of continuous
Yeah,
movement.
kind of. Oh, that's really that's really, really cool. Like that kind of slow, almost a methodical kind of movement. Nice. Okay. Yeah, Mortar will kind of like marvel at that for a little bit. He's like, that's insane. Do they have like I think like someone's mentioned like some tattoos have like meanings and stuff. Like, does this one have like meaning for you? Or was this just a cool piece of ink?
I had some input.
Are you okay?
I think
like
I think Kirv is like desperately trying to cling on to what she's saying, but I think she just stops and she turns to Mortar and she just hugs him.
Mortar's incredibly surprised by that. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You okay? Hey, what's going on?
I feel incredibly out of my depth here. I mean,
Mortar.
you might
Yeah.
be feeling the same, but at least you seem to have had a lifetime of experiencing this, and with people after us, and everything with Ellie, and the business with Cover, and and a fucking war.
Right? Mortar will kind of just like he'll like slowly kind of return the hug. Not sure, like he doesn't want to squeeze like too tight, but at the same time, he's like, you know, he just kind of holds Kirv there for a minute. He's like, it's gonna be okay. I mean, like, you know, we've got each other, we've got the guys. You know, we'll make it through. And you know, don't undersell what you're experiencing. You know, I've experienced my shit, sure, but like everybody's level of shit is just as intense. I mean, I don't think I could deal with what you're going through. That's why we have each other, right?
I don't know how I would even go about helping you here. Or any of you, to be honest. You all seem to be putting your trust in me, and I have no idea what to do with it.
Mortar will remove his mask, he'll remove his goggles, and he'll step slightly out of the sunlight. You can see he kind of winces as it kind of hits his eyes for the first time. He takes them off and everything, and looks her in the eyes and says, and puts a hand kind of hovers next to her cheek for a minute before gently placing it there, and he just says, you being there is enough. I mean, the thing is, we're not interested in you. Like, me and the guys, we're not interested in you because you have something to offer us. We're here because, you know, we care about you, and you being here is enough. You don't need to do anything for me. But I know that you will, because that's who you are as a person. And I know you do. I know I would do the same for you. I mean, yeah, like, we've got so much stuff is going on right now, and it's a hurricane of shit. Like, you know, we've just gotten over Ellie's trial. I mean, there's no way I could have handled being in her shoes. She's one of the strongest people I think I've ever met. Or Vinny, who's dealing with his amnesia and, you know, his party members who turned on him, and, you know, his friend is suffering and getting back on her feet. He's got, you know, but at the end of the day, we're a team, you know? It's what I'm getting at. It's like we lean on each other, sure, but we're not together because of what we can provide for each other. We're there because we care. And I care about you a great deal.
I think what you see on Kirv's face is the expression of someone who's never been told this in their entire life. Of someone whose whole history has been about trying to be good enough for her family. And someone who is trying to make it up to them right now. And I think this is the first time she's been given a bit of space to just be. And I think in just the feeling of the moment, she pulls on Mortar's collar into a very quick kiss. And she sort of looks a bit surprised that she's even done it herself. Food?
So Mortar will kind of stop her before she goes, like not trying to grab her or anything, but just gently kind of guides her back and just says, "Hey, it's okay. It's okay." He doesn't initiate a kiss back, but he does pull your forehead to his, places it there, and just goes, "Let's take our time with this."
We're still getting
do
food
want
though,
this.
right?
You better believe it. I am hungry as shit. But let's not rush this. Thank you. Thanks
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Also, will kind of knowing that right now he has so much going on and he wants nothing more than to give back what Kirv just gave him, but he's like, this is someone I care about. I don't want to hurt this person by not being prepared to be, like, how do I know that I'm ready for this? And I think there's like a moment there, and I think he goes to confer with Silence momentarily, but Silence isn't present. He goes, just grips Kirv's hand gently and says, you want to see something cool?
She nods.
Right now, what you've just given me, I don't know if I'm prepared to give that specifically back yet. I'm feeling is there. It's just there's a lot going on with me right now. But I got you something, and it didn't feel right just to leave it in your room like all the other gifts and stuff. And I wanted to give it to you myself. And he'll go into his pocket. And what he was fiddling with earlier, you see, it's like a long kind of box. It's like almost kind of like lined in kind of almost like a purplish felt. Kind of looks like maybe roughly the length of like maybe a little bit longer than like a pen or something, and it's quite narrow. And he'll kind of hand it to you and go, "This is a gift. I wanted to give this to you. It's not a kiss, but right now I think it's the best I can do." And he'll kind of hold it out.
Kirv, very pink in the face, sort of takes the box, sort of wordlessly opens it.
You would see. Sorry, let me just pull this back up. You would see a very personalized gift, which you can imagine probably took Mortar ages to finally decide on what he was going to give Kirv. He took his time for every member of the group, but for this one, it took him ages to figure out what he was going to get, and he settled on this. You see what looks like a delicate gold chain necklace, and you can see that your name written in your full name, Kirv Goldtongue, is embossed in fine dwarven gold, inscribed in Infernal, attached to it. Mortar kind of smile, just very kind of almost sheepishly, and kind of scratch the back of his head awkwardly, like kind of wordless as to like, almost like he wants to explain why, but then he's like, how do I explain this?
She takes it out of the box and sort of examines it, and in a very Kirv fashion, she takes like the end of it and just bites down on it. Like,
Mortar, I'll smile.
That's real gold.
Yeah, dwarven gold. Initially, I was kind of worried that they were going to pull out like full-on manacle chains, like they were like, you know, because I figured dwarven jewelry was going to be like friggin', you know, like you're going to prison, like you're wearing like a prison collar or something. But I was able to, but turns out they're pretty good with, you know, details and delicate stuff. And I don't know, like, just, I thought it might suit you.
It's beautiful.
Mortar will turn a little bit red. Like a genuine smile crosses his face. Like, do you like it?
I think it might be the best thing I've ever received.
Yeah, Mortar's never been in this position before. And I think his smile, I think upon hearing that, I think you might see kind of the faintest glimmer of almost like a tear about to well up, and quickly kind of rubs his eye a little bit, feigning it off as like an itch. But the smile remains very, very wide. He's absolutely over the moon that you like it.
She runs like her finger over the etched name part, and she then and there puts it on. How's it look?
Like you were meant to wear it.
She kind of awkwardly fiddles with the box.
You can keep that too. I mean, I don't think you'll find anything else inside it. I don't think. Turn it upside down, maybe money will come out.
She turns upside down.
I wait expectantly.
Yeah, that's about right.
Well, that was worth a try.
And why?
Because I wanted to. You guys have seen me through. You guys have made me. You know, I've walked through hell with you guys. Not literally. Haven't done that yet. Might be doing that in the future though. You know, we've been through so much together, and I think sometimes the little things pass us by, and after dying and after grappling with everything that's been happening with me and with Cat turned Ellie, and Vinny, with you, with Romulus, now with Beau as well, you know, like, I guess I'm working on getting better with my words, and Vinny brought up something about gift giving, and it just kind of stuck with me, and I thought, you know, I wanted to do something nice, I guess. And yeah, and also I wanted to see you happy.
I know you said that I'm sorry about the kiss if that was weird. Is hug.
No.
Okay,
Mortar
I don't know what else to give.
Mortar chuckles. Like he's just like, it's so. You don't need to give anything back. I'm always open. I'm always open. I'll always take a hug. But hey, the kiss wasn't unpleasant by any means. It was just
She's just snorting at this point. Uh-huh.
I don't really know how to explain it. To me giving someone a kiss means a lot. Like, and I'm sure, and I know it does for you as well. I'm sure, but like,
Yep. No, I'm gonna be quiet.
well, no, it's okay. Speak your mind. Hey, it's all good. I've been brutally honest with you for like a solid 5-10 minutes now. It's your turn.
Oh, please don't ask that of me. Okay.
Well,
okay. So we're being honest.
we are being, as honest as you want to be. At the end of the day, I'm not here to interrogate you. That's not what I want to do. I do want to know more about you.
You're too sweet. Oh my gosh. You've heard of the layers of hell? Yeah.
I mean, kind of like the concept. I kind of get. I don't really know much about it. To be absolutely honest with you, I mean, I know the language, but I kind of picked that up from a guy I knew way back when. Taught me how to shoot, but other than that, I don't really know much about like the culture or anything.
Well, I think it would be kind of what you'd expect. I mean, I've had, and she kind of does the bunny ears with her fingers, relations.
Mortar tilts his head to the side, furrowing his brow, looking a bit confused. Well, yeah, you said you had a dad, a mum, and siblings?
I mean...
Oh, you mean like sex?
A lot of heads turn
Yeah,
as you're just walking to where you're going.
Hey, mind your business. That's right, you move along.
They're called conquerings. And one dwarf moves on.
Nobody asked you, but thank you for the information. Your patronage is supported.
But amusingly, I suppose, a lot of those perhaps had a little bit more than kissing, but did not mean much.
Yeah, sure.
You get me?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I was going to say, everybody, I mean, people do that here as well, you know? I mean, I'm pretty sure it wasn't long before I met you guys that, you have to get your rocks off every once in a while. You know, it's part of being a person. Like, it's all good. You have lives before you meet people. You had a life before you met me. I'm an idiot, but I'm not stupid enough to think that, you were like saving for that, for like this moment. Like that's crazy.
I guess my point is I don't know exactly a lot of the social differences between my home and here.
In all fairness, I barely know any of them here either. So you and I are in a very similar boat. But I mean, why do we have to do things at either world's pace? Why do things at hell's pace? Why do things at material pace? Why not just do things at our own pace? Like you've got things you wanna do with what's going on here. I've got things also that and that'll happen when we want it to happen, rather than
I think
being
she at this
dictated
point
by...
puts her finger over Mortar's mouth. Okay. I'm just going to, for my own sanity right now, next time, if there's a kiss, if there's a next time, would be lovely. You're initiating, okay? I am not pushing. I am not pushing. Yep, no, and she pulls her finger away. Okay. Can we go
Okay.
get food now? I'm hungry.
Yeah, seconded. What do you
Okay.
fancy?
Oh, I know of this good place. One of the dwarf told me about. Don't know where it is
Yeah?
though. That'll be fun. Let's
Oh,
go.
shit. Okay. Well, luckily, I am very good at directions. I think I know where north is.
Why do we want to go north?
I have no idea. I'm trying to get my bearings.
Following the smell of food,
Thank you.
arrive at what looks to be some form of shack, for the lack of a better term. As you otherwise arrive, you receive 2 very hefty goat burgers.
Oh, fuck yes.
I'll say it costs you 2 silver for both the burgers and a side of fries.
Mortar will hold up his burger in a cheers motion.
Kirv will do the same then.
You clink
Yeah.
Oh,
burgers.
is that customary? Okay.
Hey, it's customary. It could be customary for us.
You clink burgers, and as the scene pans out, we begin to hear and see something unusual.
You happy adventurers?
Somewhere deep within Mortar's mind,
Fuck.
within
I don't want to go there.
within the darkness that swirls within this particular recess, Snap stands on a precipice, looking out over at the creature that he's been spending nearly a month fighting. He wipes the blood that's otherwise running from his nose and kind of swings it to one side to join the thousands of other blows he's taken. As the creature roars, almost shifting like that of a Wyam dragon or serpent in nature, it swings its head forward towards him, as with a few quick sounds of gunshots, Snap takes moments to cast spells, fling psionic magic, and try to fend it off as best he can. More and more of these injuries that he takes, glances and blows from occasional hits from the creature, and yet none of what he does is even making a dent in this creature that fights within Mortar's mind. Snap breathes heavily, as in this moment something might be able to best him, for the first time in who knows how long. As blood continues to pour down Snap's form, there's a moment where Snap is not standing alone. The flayed being stands there, its arms crossed, looking out across at the creature and at Snap. As Snap otherwise spins in that moment, flourishing his weapon, and with some simple cracks of the gun itself, before teleporting up towards the flayed creature, he kneels down. What news? Things are progressing as expected. He is going where is needed, and he has met the right people. And how long will I need to keep this up? As long as you can. Just don't let it anywhere near him. He hasn't got the same parameters as the rest of us. Understood. As Snap breathes heavily, and continues the fight once more. The flayed creature turns and steps away, the footsteps resounding within the halls of Mortar's mind, but not reaching his ears, as in this moment he's enjoying food with Kirv. Silence sits around one corner, listening to this conversation, this outcome. And unbeknownst to the flayed figure, overhears what got said, before skittering away back to Mortar. And that's where we're going to end our episode tonight.
Fuck.
So, thank you everyone for watching.
There's one thing.
Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.